four different girls that came from four different worlds, and to be in a group like this is odd itself, I feel like.
안녕하세요, 블랙핑크의 제니입니다.
So when I was in New Zealand, I lived by myself, like my family was living in Korea. And so by the time I turned 14, 15, my mom wanted me to actually move me to the States, like I think in Florida. Yeah, she had plans to move me. We actually took a trip to Florida, saw the school, saw the place that I would live in, and it hit me like I don't want to live by myself in Florida, not knowing what I want to do. And I started thinking what I want to do, and it was really like I was like out of there. I was like, I want to do music. I want to like learn how to dance and stuff like that. So I told my mom, instead of going to a new school, why don't I just come home and do something that I would enjoy for the rest of my life? And she was supportive with it, and that's how it all started.
네, 안녕하세요. 블랙핑크의 리사입니다.
You made some history yourself. You were YG's first non-Korean artist.
I always, when in Thailand, I always listen to K-pop songs. Like I love K-pop singer, and I told mom that, I want to be part of them. I want to be a K-pop artist, you know. And then thankfully, the YG, they have an audition in Thailand, and then I just got in, and then yeah.
네, 안녕하세요. 블랙핑크의 지수입니다. 그때 생각했던 미래의 저하고 지금의 저하고 좀 많이 다른 모습인 것 같긴 해요. 그림 그리는 거. 이제 연극 공부였는데 그때 연기 쪽으로 가볼까? 오디션을 많이 봐야 되고 그런 경험이 필요하다 해서 처음 보는 곳이 YG였어요. 저는 처음 회사에 왔을 때 솔직히 YG라는 회사에 대해서 너무 정확하게 파악을 하고 온 게 아니었어서 제가 그걸 직접 하게 될 거라고 생각해본 적이 없었던 것 같아요.
안녕하세요, 블랙핑크의 로제입니다.
I think he was sick of me like screaming at the top of my lungs on my piano every night at like 12 a.m. I think my dad was like, okay, I think she wants to do music, and he asked me, do you want to take an audition? And I was like, I don't even know if I was qualified. So I was like, is that even a question? Like, can I? Like, am I allowed to? Like, but it was funny because I was like, yeah, okay. And then my parents had a whole fight about it. Like, mom was worried, but in the end, they decided to be really, really supportive of it, and I flew all the way from Melbourne to Sydney to take the audition, and I got it.
What kept you going? And this is a question for all of you, because training is not easy, I'm assuming. It's years and years, and it's yeah, there's a lot. Everything in your world is different overnight.
되게 진짜 열심히 준비했지. 하루도 빠짐없이 공부하고 얼마의 평가, 진짜 냉정한 세상이었어. 세계였어요. 매달 말에 솔로곡 하나, 단체곡 하나, 댄스곡 하나 이렇게 했는데 옷도 정해야 되지, 그룹도 정해야 되지, 파트도 정해야 되지, 노래도 정해야 되지, MR도 만들어야 되지, 안무도 만들어야 되지, 안무 연습해야 되지, 중간 평가해야 되지, 매주 찍는, 일주일에 한 번씩 찍는 보컬 영상도 찍어야 되지, 팝핀 영상 찍어야 되지, 크럼프 영상 찍어야 되지, 할 게 너무 많았어요, 매달.
Drive, like, I was like, I cannot fly all the way back to Australia without making this work. Like, I felt like it was a fight against myself because it was really, really difficult, to be honest, you know, being away from family, and I was so young. I had never slept outside of my house for like more than 2 weeks, you know, at that age.
Yeah.
But I had to just leave, and the culture wasn't like fully like in my blood yet. So it was very difficult, but for me it was more like, I have to make this work before I, like, you know, I'm never gonna leave Korea without making this work.
all kind of just dropped everything that we were doing. Like our whole life just changed overnight, and they put us into these groups of girls and just survive, like do like a survival thing every month. And some people just go home after a month, some people go home after 3 years. It's all different. And to see some of the girls that I trained with go home just made me more like
Motivated.
yeah, motivated, because we all had one dream, and it wasn't an easy thing to just stay there and go on with what we want to do. So I think just from there, I don't want to go home. That's all. That was the only thing on my mind.
And you're so close to it, right? You just want to keep going, and your dreams are at a fingertip.
Yeah.
핑크를 소개합니다.